Stranger Lane, a book written by Cyprian Josson. Stranger Lane is a book about Africans in Paris. Africans who travel to France have a big dream: to make good within a very short period, and then return home successfully and accomplished to help the homeland. The book Stranger Lane, which can be considered an autobiography tale of the author's personal experience in Paris, is filled with both humorous and serious anecdotes on the life African immigrants lead in Paris, the city of lights. In the midst of the pervasive culture shock in cold and winter-gripped Paris, where many African immigrants tend to dress as if they are still in their homeland, the author manages in this book to piece together the lives and times of the different and colourful characters in vivid prose. An excerpt from the book reads, Chapter 1, The Familiar Song. The more we move further away from democracy, the more susceptible we become to the afflictions that befall us. Democracy, in its essence, holds the key to resolving our myriad challenges, proclaimed Ikemba to his interlocutor Pierre, an Africanist. With a deft flick of his hand, Ikemba turned the pages of The African Pilot, revealing the prominent headline emboldened with the proclamation, Africa on the verge of industrialization. If only African nations were to embrace democracy, perhaps this prophecy could indeed come to fruition, remarked Pierre, the Africanist, contemplating the weight of the statement. Democracy has been an intrinsic part of our existence for quite some time, though its presence has often remained imperceptible to the casual observer. Have you never come across the term Afro-democracy before? Queried Chima, the hospitable host accommodating Ikemba and his wife Ngozi in his apartment. Never in my entire life, Pierre replied, displaying his genuine lack of familiarity with the concept. How can you lay claim to the title of an Africanist when this commonplace phrase within African political discourse eludes your intellectual grasp? Afro-democracy is a simple term that resonates with the common man on the streets of Africa, Chima elucidated, attempting to bridge the gap in Pierre's understanding. Ikemba and Pierre absorbed Chima's words with rapt attention, although the Africanist found himself growing increasingly agitated by the ongoing debate. Eventually, he directed a question to Chima, seeking clarification. Pray enlighten me on the true meaning of Afro-democracy. Afro-democracy, my friend, is when a leader is supposed to be wise and act in the best way for their people. They act like they're the only one who can make things better and don't allow any disagreement, Chima replied with a bitter tone. But there's no strong proof for this idea, Pierre said doubtfully. You're being sarcastic, like George Orwell's Animal Farm, Ikemba commented, sensing cynicism in Pierre's words. Look at the vast expanse of the African continent and enlighten me, dear Pierre. Where does this definition not hold true? Where can one find a government that does not embody the essence of Afro-democracy? Implored Chima, hoping to sway both Pierre and Ikemba. They were hesitant to accept such a rebellious idea. Pierre looked annoyed, his face showing it, and he didn't say anything. Enough with your pointless talk, Ikemba. I'm tired of your meaningless arguments in this place, Ngozi, Ikemba's wife, said with frustration in her voice. She stormed into the bedroom, her footsteps resonating with anger as she forcefully slammed the door shut. After a few minutes, she emerged and settled herself in the living room, visibly irritated by the ongoing conversation among the three men. They had now shifted their discourse to Ikemba's forthcoming thesis defense at the University of Saint-Denis, perhaps a strategic diversion from the weighty subject of Africa's future. Ikemba, still engrossed in the newspaper, found his attention captured by an article on the back page. Its headline read, The Death of Nigeria in 2014. Could it be a reality in this corner of Africa? Check out the book on Cyprian Josson, Amazon Books. Follow the link below.